Hello from Right Side Broadcasting Network, day 2 of CPAC here in Dallas, Texas. I'm joined with Jeff Brain, founder and CEO of CloutHub, a new social media platform that RSBN has started to incorporate into our plethora of platforms that we've been using. But I'll let you reintroduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about CloutHub.
Sure. Well, first, Liz, thank you for having me. We're glad to have RSBN as one of our channels, and we've admired what you've worked on for the last couple of years.
Thank you.
So, CloutHub is a different kind of social media platform. Most social media platforms, it's about likes and follows and counting them, and about things that really don't matter. And I wanted to create a social media platform where people could address the real issues, where we bring people together and give them the tools they need to empower them to connect, collaborate, organize, advocate, and influence the key issues that they want to talk about. You know, on Facebook you can't talk about vaccines without getting check marks. On Twitter you can't talk about masks or treatments, and we feel there needs to be a platform where people can really address those issues because it impacts our lives and our families.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And we've seen censorship left and right, and if these social media platforms aren't good to communicate and have that dialogue and discussion where you can ask these questions, then what good are they even doing besides pushing propaganda?
Well, that's right. You know, they become Big Brother. Not only are they silencing our voices, I mean, we see so many of the people we know being removed on a daily basis, but they're also invading our privacy, right? And taking that privacy and selling it to people to target us with ads. And they're also manipulating what we get to see. I mean, I know that you guys came to us because you were being shut down on other platforms because they didn't want what you had to say to be heard. But yet you have a huge audience, and rightly so, and people want to be able to hear both sides and then make their own choice.
Exactly, that's what we've tried to do with our entire existence. Quite literally just turn on the TVs, let it play, and then people can watch or not, figure out their own conclusions. But most big tech right now, they don't want that to happen. However, CloutHub, you guys are just completely different in that aspect. Very big believers in free speech, which is an outlier nowadays, a rare thing which should have never happened.
Well, and I think too, we're a much broader platform than some of the others. You know, a lot of other platforms sort of like Twitter have come out. Some are still there, some have already gone. But CloutHub is a much broader platform, like with you, Right Side Broadcasting. We have channels, we also have a newsroom, we have discussion timelines. In about a week, actually, everybody on CloutHub can go live, which will be a big step.
I saw a huge email come through with some incredible updates to CloutHub. So talk to us about that. I'll let you finish that sentence. And also, who is on CloutHub right now that are some of your favorite content creators?
So on the update, like I said, we've done a complete revision of our platform, a new look, new flow. It's much faster than it's ever been. When we originally built it, we built it in components, and now what we did is did it completely as one platform, and it's much more efficient. In about 2 weeks, we're going to be adding what's called meetings, and this will be good for you guys too. So there's that Clubhouse technology, and we have that technology too, but we can put you, for instance, in video, and then we can get 100,000 people into a room to watch you, and they can actually interact with you.
How so? How to, so like a chat room? Or
it's like a chat room. They actually, you see their avatar, they are all muted, but they can raise their hand, and you guys can call on them, and they can actually talk to you, and whoever you choose goes to the top, and they can actually talk to you back and forth.
That's awesome.
That's one tab. The second tab actually lets those participants, and again, we can get 100,000 of them in a room, chat among themselves, and you can see their chat and answer questions that they might have or see what they're talking about. And then the third tab is you can upload PDFs. It might be an agenda, it might be a policy paper, but if, stepping away from Right Side Broadcasting, you might be a classroom. You might be a business conference. You might be a president's rally, right? And he can have a button for donating, collecting emails, selling merchandise, and have his policy papers available.
I feel like all of this would have been so helpful a year ago when when coronavirus hit and schools shut down and all these meetings went virtual. But I mean, that was a good time to learn exactly what we needed for the future of technology, and it sounds like y'all took those notes and really ran with it. Now recently, just last week, I believe it was the 26th, President Trump had a press conference in Bedminster, New Jersey. He announced that he was filing a class action lawsuit against big tech. What did you think when you found out about this lawsuit?
Well, I was really excited to hear about it. I think it's long overdue, and I'm glad it's him. He has a big enough following, a big enough voice that it should be him. He was, as our former president, was taken down out of Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, and that's just not acceptable. I mean, half the country supported him. Many people think more than half the country.
Yeah.
And but he's taken a different angle, and I think he has a good chance of winning. In that he's claiming, and there seems to be some evidence, that people in government actually instructed some of these platforms to take the steps of deplatforming people on their behalf and making them state actors. And that's a different angle. There's some evidence in California. Harmeet Dillon has a lawsuit right now against Twitter in that she has documentation and letters, emails, showing that the Secretary of State's office was coordinating with Twitter to take down individuals criticizing the election. And if that's the case, that argument, well, it's a private company, can do anything, that goes away, because then they're acting on behalf of the government.
Because you're interfering in elections.
Well, and you're also at the direction of government. They're just outsourcing it.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of somebody in Congress saying censor it, they're just calling on Twitter to censor it. So yeah.
It's insane that this is the world we live in right now. But we're very thankful for people like you who are standing up and fighting and creating and investing into these alternative platforms. I mean, you really are. President Trump is fighting free speech in a way, but so are you. So it really is quite impressive.
Well, thank you, and so are you guys. And we appreciate you guys being on the platform and supporting us. By people like you and others, Steve Bannon and others, Laura Trump is now on our platform, and many others. It helps us to grow because people come to see your content, and so we thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully we'll get on there and start using it more and more. We are trying to utilize all the ones we can and eventually get away from the big dog.
Yeah.
We won't name them. They don't deserve it.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on, Jeff, and hopefully we'll see you around soon.
Thank you.